Bettina ma'am, you can mute your mic.
Thank you for joining us for the national webinar on Publish and Progress. Mother Teresa said, God speaks in the silence of the heart. Listening is the beginning of the prayer. Now let's begin this program with a prayer song.
You were the word at the beginning, one with God the Lord Most High. Your hidden glory in creation, now revealed in you, our Christ. What a beautiful name it is. What a beautiful name it is. The name of Jesus Christ, my King. What a beautiful name it is. Nothing compares.
it is audible.
We can see a short prayer.
Yes, after finishing this, we will say, sister. In the YouTube live, it is audio is coming. Sister.
Okay.
I've seen it.
I'll say the prayer. We will start with a prayer, sister.
Okay, I'll say the prayer.
Yes, sister.
Thank you, God, for all the benevolence and graces you bestow on each one of us. Today, we entrust to you a resource person, Dr. Kalpana, the organizers, and all the participants in your loving hands. Be with us, guide us, so that Father, under the Son, and under the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Thank you, sister. A smile is a universal welcome. Here we
and constantly working on developing something. The secret of making progress is to get started. The Internal Quality Assurance Cell of Auxilium College, the Committee for Research Ethics, Publication and IPR, and Library of Auxilium College Autonomous Vellore has taken initiative in organizing this one-day national workshop on Publish and Progress for the benefit of research scholars and faculty members. Served as honorary domain expert in implementation of COHA in public and college libraries. Ma'am has worked in many prestigious institutions like Meenakshi College for Women, Sri AMM Murugappa Chettiar Research Center, and currently in Indian Statistical Institute Chennai Center. Madam has published articles in journals, conference proceedings, book chapters, and extend my hearty welcome to our dear Secretary, Dr. Sister A. Mary Josephine Rani, Principal, Dr. Sister R. Jayshanti, Controller of Examinations, Dr. Sister A. Aroke Jaisili, Vice Principals, Dr. Sister Amala Valarmati and Sister Juliana Agnes Victor, who supported us in organizing this workshop for the benefit of faculty and research scholars. A special welcome to Dr. A. Mary Agnes, IQAC Coordinator, Dr. V. Shuganta Kumari, Dean of Research, and Dr. Sister M. Sumati, Director of Library, who meticulously planned and guided the team to organize this program. I welcome the research scholars and faculty members from Auxilium College and other institutions who have joined us in Google Meet and on YouTube to attend the program with enthusiasm. There is no end to education. So let us use this day to learn as much as possible. Prepare yourself to be challenged, excited, and inspired. Enjoy the day. Once again, I welcome you all.
thank you, ma'am, for the warm welcome. Now I request Dr. Sister Jayshanti, our principal, to felicitate.
Respect the resource person, Dr. Kalpana TM, Scientific Assistant B, Library in Charge, Indian Statistical Institute, Chennai Center, staff members and research scholars from various colleges and from Auxilium College, organizers of this national webinar on Publish and Progress, especially the members of IPSC, Committee for Research, Ethics, Publication, IPR, and Library. A pleasant morning to each and every one of you. Publishing research papers in the reputed journals leads credibility to the researcher and to the research. It increases public interest in the researcher and their work. Just I was thinking, what are the benefits of publishing research articles in the reputed and some of the non-reputed journals? Just I jotted down some points. It enhances the knowledge and fuels scientific curiosity, and also encourages interdisciplinary 185. That's what yesterday Dr. Suganta Kumari was telling. I've registered, and now I think many of our staff members from other colleges must be joining for this webinar. So I'm sure this webinar is going to enrich each one of us. And Dr. Kalpana is there. That is, biodata is very rich. She has worked in different institutions at various levels, Madam, thank you very much for accepting our invitation and going to enlighten our staff members, not only our staff members, other staff members from various colleges also. So I want to really thank the IPSC coordinator, Dr. Agnes, Mary Agnes and her team, and research dean, Dr. Sugandha Kumari and her team, the dean of library or director of the library, Dr. Sumati and her team. So thank you very much and God bless all of you.
Me for the session as a resource person, and I think I can share whatever I have learned and what will actually have benefited me, because it is just I think that it is just sharing the knowledge. Thank you, ma'am. Shall I start presenting now? Hello?
Yes, yes.
Madam, can you increase your volume?
Yes, ma'am. Just a
Uh,
moment.
your voice is very low.
Yes, ma'am. Just a moment. Ma'am, is it audible now? Now is it audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Shall I start presenting now?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. So the window is visible now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So what are we going to discuss today? Everybody will be concentrating more on databases, aggregators, or journals, magazines like that. Though I have shared some of the information regarding basic knowledge about publishing, and some will be related with the higher level of learning. But still, I have to cater to all the levels of learning. So I'm just starting from the basics. We have subject-based databases means it is like a journal aggregator which is concentrated to particular journal or particular subject or particular faculty. And this represents the level of learning from UG level to the PhD and research levels. And next, the databases are not just journals, because there is a myth that only the journal publications will be having lot of impact and a lot of citations, but it is not so actually. We have to learn more from journal publications, and this can be visually even experienced from simulation applications and virtual labs. And contributing our research ideas through these simulation applications or virtual labs will definitely increase our citation, and our research publications can be authorized or authenticated through aging also, because once a research topic is more relevant to the current scenario, many people will be working on it. But once we have to publish it in some way or the other through the social media or simulation applications or virtual labs or journal publications, only then we can actually own it. Otherwise, it will become a duplication. So where all the problems arise, and where we have to be more enthusiastic, or where we have to be more vigilant enough, I'm going to share all these type of informations from the associate editor point of view, because in editing or in reviewing, we usually look into these type of filters or these type of parameters where the article can be selected for publication or not. So that is why I'm just keen about sharing from the associate editor point of view because I'm just working on these journals. In the last week also, I had a similar experience. The journal paper what I was reviewing was really excellent, but only thing is the paper was lengthy as much as 50 pages. Actually, that can be shrunk into 25 to 25 or plus papers. That's it. Because the paper was very relevant and very well written, but still the tables and the pictures or pictorial representation of tables was very large that it makes the paper too lengthy, because too length papers is also a problem. So because it is not only a problem for the publisher or the reader or the what to say, the researcher, it is actually a problem for maintaining it in the service also. That is why, from the associate editor point of view, I'm just sharing few of the experiences what I have learned and what are the parameters that we really look into. And next is periodicals. Periodicals, everybody will be concentrating more on subject journals.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am, slide is not moving, ma'am.
No, I'm just keeping this same slide because I'm coming to this the third point: periodicals, journals, magazines, and newsletters. We
Okay,
are going
ma'am.
to discuss.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
I think I have not finished this slide. That is why I have not moved. Is it okay? Can I continue?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So everybody will be concentrating only on journals, but equally important magazines are there. For example, Center for Science and Research or Center for Science and Environment, there is a very good magazine called Down to Earth, which focuses only on environmental issues with political backgrounds. But then that is actually a very good magazine which has really worth reading. But only thing is, many people don't concentrate on publishing in magazines or newsletters or technical notes or error attempt, because they feel that only the journal publications will have educational impact. It is not so actually. All the publications will give and definitely give your ownership to that research or ownership to your thoughts, your creativity, which definitely have impact in your journal publication citations and your research implications. And next is data. Many people will be concentrating only on gathering the data, but they are not aware of the type of data what they are using and what are the analysis that should be done. Whether they have to feel whether that data is enough for their research. All these should be first finalized, and then when they are satisfied with the data, then they have to use the statistical tools which is relevant to their research. But many people will be using only the simple tools like simple calculations like mean and weighted average mean, all that sort of things. But there are even lot more statistical applications of the statistical tools that can be given more importance to relevant to their data, so that the statistical implications and inferences will give you more weightage to your paper and more understanding to your research. That is why only understanding the data types with their analysis and the tools to be used is even more important than only publications. And citations. Citations is whenever we get more citations, we feel that our research is really having a good impact and it is read by many and it is really useful for others for further research, and we can actually fine tune our own research. But only this citation alone will help us, that there is a question mark. So we have to go into more into the citation analysis and the indices and how to understand those indices. And next, a major problem in publications is plagiarism. Actually, I thought of introducing more into Turnitin, but very similar application is Woodkund. But still, I will share what are the benefits that is there in Turnitin, what are the features in Woodkund. All this we are going to discuss in plagiarism, and what are the problems in plagiarism, how it is considered as plagiarism, and how to avoid it. All these will be discussed in this topic. And next is how we are going to make our publications more reachable. What are the tools or what are the other systems that can increase our publication visibility, and how we can get more citations. And later, what are the open source, what are the subscription model, and what are the payment model type of journal publication that is available, that we can discuss. So, as ma'am said, learning, teaching, and research is not just a full stop, it is always a continuous full stops. It means it is going to continue to the end of last year, because once we learn, we have to do some research, and then only we will be able to teach, because younger generations are even more informed than us. So when we are not with their pace, definitely we will lose importance. So whatever we are learning, it should be in continuous process, and that is why we need to learn more about the latest and updated tools or applications or computer oriented or what is the information and communication technologies that can be used in all faculties. It is not relevant to science, or it is not particular to any particular faculty, like medicine. Medicine, there is lot of updates every day. Same similar way, there are lot of updates even in social media also. So why we when we are able to get all the information from Google, why we need to concentrate only on academic databases? I think everybody will be having this answer, but still I want to discuss, because there are too many results which is not actually authentic. Authentic information only can be used in your academic research, because blogs or Pinterest or Facebook all can be giving you some information, but it is not claimable actually. So there is more distraction, which can actual research can be diverted in a different scenario. So that is why it is more and more time consuming, because you will not be able to filter, or you cannot able to be judged what the actual scenario or actual impact the information what you are getting from these sites will have. So diversified information will again lead you to a different end up. So that is why filtering is more important. So you need some authentic information. That is why we need to concentrate more on academic databases than from any common platforms. Because, for example, how it is really distractive. There will be some thumbnails which is, for example, in YouTube videos also, there will be some thumbnails which will be really, wordings will be very helpful, or actually what you are searching for. But the contents may not be similar to the thumbnails. So that is why here you get distracted, and a lot of time will be wasted. Be very concentrative or very dedicated towards search for the topics or the research what you are going to continue, or what you are actually looking for. Especially more than that, the spamware is a big threat, because when you are landing into some links which is really malicious or spamware, definitely your system will also get corrupted. That is why you have to be more vigilant and more concentrated on your research selections and the databases. I have given a list of few aggregators, which is actually the subject wise. It is given by UGC CARE, and the subject wise list is listed in these databases. Only thing is, we have to concentrate on the title or the suitability of the journal, because many will be writing a very good journal or very good article, but they will be submitting into a different journal, which that particular journal may not accept. I'm trying to reduce the rejection rates of the journal paper acceptances. So you first select the journal, and you have to concentrate more on the author guidelines, because each author or each title and each journal has its own implications. So when you select a particular journal, you have to prepare the paper in their own guidelines. The same the paper, many people are doing the same problem or same mistake. They will be sending a journal article to a particular database, but it may not be accepted to some reasons, but without editing from one journal to another. That is why you have to be more concentrating on the formatting part of the journal also.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am, you can put it in slideshow mode, ma'am. We are still in first slide, ma'am.
Actually,
Slideshow.
I have already given a slideshow model. Let me
ma'am.
check. Let me check. 1 second. Is it so? 1 second. Is it now visible for you?
Yes, ma'am.
Let me close it and now. 1 second. Is it now moving? Ma'am, can anybody?
Why academic databases, ma'am?
Yeah. Now is it visible?
Yes,
Now
ma'am.
it is UGC
But it
Catalyst.
is not in slideshow mode, ma'am.
When I make it to slideshow share, I think it is not sharing properly. That is why I'm having. Shall I have it like this?
Okay, ma'am.
Now the slides are moving.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. But if I'm going to move for that is make it to slideshow mode, I think it is not sharing properly. Let us have it like this. Is it okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Fine. So one of my friend has compiled a list of journals that is especially for LIS, because I think you will be understanding this. I'm from for your faculty alone. Yeah. So as I said earlier, we are not going to concentrate only on the journal papers or only the databases. We are going to focus more on other software related or other any readable resources. It is like books, journals, video lectures, etc. I'm going to give a list of what are the other type of resources that will be really helpful for you to progress in your research. Because only when you progress in your research, it will be more informative and more creative research that you can give, and from that only you will be having a very good quality journal paper. Yeah, for example, I think computer science people will be more aware of it, but still, because we have to cater to all different type of faculty people and students. That's why I think some basic information we need to share. And for example, for open source databases or there is a major difference between open source software and the free open source software. Commercial open source software that is, for example, Oracle. But free open source, it is Arduino. Arduino, I think electronic people will be very much aware of. There is a small microchip which will have all the functionalities like automating systems and remote sensing. So for that, actually, they have created a software library itself. So what you need to get the physical component of that particular Arduino chip, and you have to assemble in the way they are giving, and the library will be helping you to install the particular chip, and you can use it as easy as possible. I think I have tried it. It really works better. And the same way for Google Forms. I think you people have created Google Form for this registration itself. But still, there are some students who are not even aware of Google Forms. That is why I'm giving just basic examples too. And moreover, many people will be searching for books only from LibGenesis or few other things, but Project Gutenberg and Library of Congress are really helpful to get academic books, especially for science faculty. And the free audiobooks from Libbox, especially for visually challenged people. This website is catering a lot number of people, and really it is doing an amazing job, and people are adding to it. And if you want to be a contributor, you can read a book to record it as an audio book. That will be helpful for other people to hear it, especially visually challenged people. So I have given different varieties of things, and Amazon Kindle really gives lot number of leisure reading books. But still, all people should be aware of the 18 plus magazines or 18 plus books. So you have to select the books. But Amazon Kindle gives lot number of leisure reading rather than subject-oriented books. And many books really gives very good number of academic reading books, especially for social faculties. And the free ebooks, it gives multiple level of books from school level to research level. Next is free academic sites. This lens.org is really helpful because it gives more visibility to the researchers also. One like ORCID or MathSciNet, this is also a database where researchers get into. For example, even can ask for, or you can learn more about the ongoing researchers in different parts of the world. And not only that, you can request articles or books or research lab collaborations. All these sort of academic activities can be gone through this lens.org. And the core, CORE, is really having a good number of publications that is free of cost, and you need not to get the any registration or publication request. You will directly get off research papers, because you need not to concentrate only on the commercial papers, commercial journal databases, where you have to pay for at least a download to read at least. But for publication, it is even more costlier, I believe. But there are some valuable papers which is actually accepted without publication fee or without processing fee. But it depends on the quality of the paper and the quality of the research and relevancy to the current scenario. As I said earlier, I'm just talking to you from the view of an editor. And this is a great initiative by Government of India. I think many people are not aware of it. This website gives a very good research articles, especially from the government-funded projects, because this will not only have the journals, it is also giving lot other more information about the researchers also, and the labs relevant to or collaborating to each other with the with that sort of research, because this caters to many number of social, technical, natural, and scientific researchers. And free guidance to statistical analysis. I think many people will be very good in their own faculty in doing research, but I think there is a lack of information regarding the statistical analysis and tools or inferences that they have to write from the tools, from the results, what they are actually getting, how to infer it. That inference part, I think many people are still lacking. So this site helps you to write a better inference from the results, and what are the tools that you have to use according to your data, real-time bugs and real-time fixings. But when it comes to commercial softwares or commercial resources, you will not be able to rebuild it, or you will not be able to customize it according to your requirements. But the authenticity that or solutions to your problems, it is really in current scenario. Like for example, in R programming, I think many will be aware of. It is basically used for statistical analysis. Now that there are a lot of GUI applications, there is graphic user interface applications. That R Studio is really helpful for understanding the statistical analysis, and it gives lot graphical representations of your data, which is really actually capturing the intensity of your data. All that sort of customizations is possible only from the free softwares, and that free softwares, how they are able to cater to your latest needs is that they are based on community level softwares, because community level softwares, many people will be contributing or dedicated to their research, and they will giving in instant. One second, there is some problem with my mic. Just a second. Is it okay now? Anybody can reply?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So there are community-based software which is giving a very good impact or very good solutions to your problems immediately, because they are working 24/7 around the world, and the bug fixing is really in real time. But when it comes to commercial softwares, definitely there is a problem, because that or whatever we are having as a bug, we have to report it to the team. Then they have to do it, and all these have some commercial implications, like we have to pay for that customizations or bug fixings. So open source operating systems, I think Linux is the best, because I am using this. Many people will be paying for Windows, but still Linux is good, because the problem of getting virus, all these type of problems is really this Linux is addressing well than other classroom platforms. Yeah, learning management software. I think this gained more importance in during the COVID period. Many will be concentrating on Blackboard and Google Classroom, but level of communication, because right now we are actually doing a webinar. But earlier to the COVID, many people were, though these platforms or these softwares are available, we were not actually giving importance to this type of communication. But still, but now this has come as a new limits or new standards. Yeah. Now coming to the virtual labs. This MEDLAT and VLab is a government, Indian government initiative. It is really a very good virtual lab. When people are into this, definitely look into this for teaching and for learning. It gives not only for, I have taken the screenshot of software engineering only, but it has all lot of scientific research. And even social research, there is some platforms, but still social for scientific research, this virtual lab is doing a very good job. I request all the people who are have connected to this, please look into this virtual lab, especially this VLab. And the team viewing and any desk, all these connecting softwares, it will help while you have some problem in software rectifications, or when you want to share some live screen to your connecting people, especially for sharing your files, not only files, for rectifying in your system. So other people will be able to log into your system and rectify the problem in your system without physically present here. And free aggregators like Elsevier and Scopus. These are all aggregators because they fetch all the metadata information. Metadata means the information regarding to that particular article or each article level thing with author mapping, lab mapping, and the pages, the year of publication, what else? Title, keywords, all these type of mappings are done in from a journal level or an article level in databases. But in this aggregator, there is only one problem. It gives all the citation also, it gives all the recommended research also, but it again gives a very large number of related research. You have to concentrate for filtering whatever is relevant to your research, because this again it should not lead you to a different direction of your research. But when comparing to Google research, this again gives a very relevant research. Again, it should not actually distract you. I think this is all everybody is aware of: YouTube sharing, NPTEL, and SlideShare. These are all the simulators. I think you need to learn more about simulators also. I have given few examples for simulators. This is solar system simulator. I think physics people will be more interested in this type of thing. Simulators is actually a visual presentation of whatever you are going to do or whatever you are going to experiment. They have already experimented and the results is already published. So whenever you have some queries or whenever you want to try some new inventions or try new type or methods of doing it, you can actually try in this simulators. This will help you to realize what will be the result and how, what are the drawbacks or what are the things that you are missing, so that you can, when you can fine tune your research and then you can do it live. So this actually, the simulators work as a mock experiments. So these are the free simulation, physical simulation tools. AllGoDo is really a very good software, which is really helping you to do all the type of physical experiments through online, so that you can actually visualize what you are doing and how the results will be, and how it will actually give the output, or how you have to infer all these type of details that this AllGoDo is giving. And not only that, it gives a different type of tool that can be used for each and every physical operations. These are chemical simulation websites. Especially this COCO simulator was really very good compared between DWSim and COCO simulator. What I am sharing is all free. So you can just log in. Whatever the resources that's available, at least you can go through once, so that when your research level or when your research is really published, or you have some very good output, definitely you can share these to this, or you can dedicate your research to this simulations, so that other people will be aware of it. When you, and especially everybody will be concentrating only on your positive results, but negative results also have a very good impact. As an editor, really we look into negative results also, because that will give you a genuine result, that how the result should not be done. That will actually help others also to reduce your mistakes, and it gives authenticity to your research, that you can own it. That is the actual impact of adding your negative or adding your failure results and failure data also to your research papers. I think you have to underline this. Please add your negative results and failure data also in your research papers. That will give added value to your paper. Not only the positive results will give you a citation, or it will gain you a research visibility. Negative data also will give you very good impact. Yeah, for engineering and mathematical simulation, this site was giving a very good output. I think mathematical people will be aware of this Wolfram Alpha. There are two versions, free version and the commercial version also. But commercial version it is bit costly, but still free version it's to the level of MSc or basic research. I think Wolfram Alpha will be doing a very good job. Microsoft Mathematics, to some level, these calculators and the simulations are really good because the graphing and the output results are visualized here. So this Microsoft Mathematics, up to a certain level, it is free, but professional versions, it is really costly, but still it has to be thought of by the institutions. Not only for scientific faculty, there are few social sciences research. For example, management services is Microsoft Dynamics. It's really good. Everybody will be knowing only about the Microsoft Office, but this Microsoft Dynamics is really good because it gives infographic results. Whatever the data-driven information, because data-driven information only can give you a best results, and from that results you have to profile your institution or profile your research, and after profiling, then only you can come to a solution, or you can come to a management roles or management decisions that you can take. All those data-driven information that can be visualized very good solutions can be drawn from Microsoft Dynamics. For e-commerce softwares, I think now a lot of e-commerce softwares are offering a lot of transport of goods or transport of information or services. But still, when you are developing your own e-commerce softwares, when you want to develop your own commercial went into a very commercial world, then this e-commerce software development tools are really good. And this WooCommerce is helping you a lot with their method of how to do it, and what is the basic requirements that you want, what are the information that you can feed into to make more visibility. All these type of guidelines this WooCommerce is doing. But SystemMe is giving a all-in-one marketing platform, but this marketing platform, it concentrates more on marketing thing than the commercial links. Yeah. Free statistical analysis. RStudio and R is actually command prompt, and RStudio is GUI. Minitab and Origin Pro, all these are paid platforms, but still for professional versions it is paid, and for R it is completely free. But for R you need to have a basic knowledge about C programming, because all the RStudio and R commands, it is based on C and C++ command prompts. So how the simulation thing you will be feeling when it comes to reading, or when it comes to understanding. All these type of slides I'm just going to show. This is a experiment that is based on civil engineering. It's like a beam or a concentrating block. When it is pressed or when it is given pressure, how the results will be. They have given what all the tools that should be used, and what are the next level, what you have to do. See, you have to just click it. How you have to connect the simulator or solder the particular instrument to it, and how the results are. All these are graphically given. So when you tune to the data that you are giving, or the how the data that you have fetched, this type of information can be loaded into this, and then we will be having the visual results how the actual experiment will end into. Not only for physics or chemistry, this is for geological information. Yeah, when it comes to file converters, because file converters is very well used in compressing or changing the file formats. When you Excel to PDF or all these type of file formats are definitely useful, but only thing is when you are using these file formats, please be aware of online file converters, because they are actually treating your journal upload or paper upload as an information resource or information source of your current research interest, because they can steal your ideas. You are actually loading your paper into them, and that server is actually converting, but the copy of your research paper is definitely lying with them. So when you are using this file format converters, please be aware that your information is going to be stored in another irrelevant hands. So when you are using this file converters, please use within your system, not through online converters, because now all the OS or all the operating systems are helping you to convert the file formats within your system itself. You need not actually depend on online converters, but when it comes to compression or when it comes to a very different type of file format, then definitely, or from especially for example, when you are using IBM SPSS software for statistical testing or statistical analysis, that will be giving it as an output as an .sav format, but it is actually in Excel format that you can convert. But still, when you are using that SAV format to convert into Excel through online converters, then again your data is going to be in other hands. So when you are using online file converters, please be aware of. Yeah, this is Odoo. Odoo is employees and resource management systems. I think so social science researchers will be more interested in this. When you are using the software, you please be aware of whether the information that you are uploading is really getting into their system or installed in your system and you are saving it in your local database. That is actually having a greater impact of leaking your information to other software managers. And this Odoo is giving a very good infographic results. Infographic is whatever the data that you are projecting, that will be in Excel. They will give us pie charts or bar charts or similar visually impactful charts. But when it gives for infographics, 2 or 3 factors can get together with a particular presentation, which is really more and more attractive. Not only attractive, it will be graphics will be more and more meaningful. So using infographics rather than charts is really having a very good impact in accepting your paper. Yeah, not only for social sciences or scientific research, this legal services and virtual lawyers are also doing a very good thing, especially for when it is coming to today's topic, like plagiarism. Plagiarism, lot of cases and lot of information how the plagiarism is impactful in your research and how it leads to even cancelling of your research, or people may even end up in jail. So sorts of all these type of impactful information are given in this legal services, and this is also out of our government of India initiative, and it has lot more cases on plagiarism too. That too even from established researchers, because they are actually not aware of the basic thing about the plagiarism that we are going to actually see in the later slides. Yeah. Free online academic courses like I think you people are really aware of, because now that Swayam and NPTEL has gained more importance in getting points for, I think the social points you are getting. Yeah, free maps. Everybody will be aware of Google Maps, but what three words and OpenStreetMap. OpenStreetMap is also a free software, which is equally good as Google Maps. But when you are using application-oriented map, like if you want to develop an application which is actually delivering from one part to another, then definitely you need that online map tool. For that, if you want to use Google Maps, you need to pay some commercial value to that. But when you are using this OpenStreetMap, it is equally good, but still it is free. Yeah. Now we have to concentrate more on data types, because this is the major problem when the publications are not being accepted. Analyzing a problem and the research methodology, all these, I think it is different from each and every journal paper or each and every research. But when it comes to data and data collection or data categorization, I think there is some limitations or there is some grouping. So, and analysis and data tools, you need to have some concentration or knowledge about the statistical tools that has to be applied when you are analyzing this particular type of data, or you want to, or you are looking into particular type of result. And data representation, again, as I said earlier, infographic representation is even more attractive and more meaningful than simple Excel charts. Inference. When writing the inference, I think people are only concentrating about what they are actually getting from the results. But from that results, I think you will have to include your creativity, and you can extend it to further research, or you can extend it to what all the other contributing factors that will be impacting your results. All these type of details also should be included in conclusions and suggestions based on your inference, not just based on your creativity. It has to be based on your inference also. These are survey softwares. I think everybody will be including, after a session like this, they will be including a Google form or a SurveyMonkey, where they will have a couple of questions: how the session was, the timing or the research topic, how it was, and to get the feedbacks. So that in that way, SurveyMonkey and Typeform is very good, because Google form is always busy and it gives some data. But when it comes to feedbacks, I think SurveyMonkey is comparatively, from my point of view, it is even more easier. Yeah. So data collection. Data collection for social research and for scientific research. For scientific research, it is based on primary data, because they are getting from their own experiments. But when it comes to social sciences researchers, I think there is a lot other tools, like getting it from surveys, polls, interviews, all sort of these types. But when it comes to primary data or secondary data, the source should be very authentic. That is more important, because without authentic data, when you are doing your research, which is having manipulated data, definitely your results will be distracting, or it will lead to another end which you have not ever expected. So you should be more vigilant, or more dedicated to selecting of data and getting the authentic source of data. I will give you a couple of other data sources also, where you can get relevant data without doing even surveys, or without doing your experiments also. You have ready-made data sets which is really more authentic from very good labs. So the experiments that have already been done, only from the results also you can do further research without doing the experiment itself, or without replicating the information itself. So what are the data types? For example, nominal data, it is regarding country-wise or gender-wise, race-wise. It is relating to personal information, especially for social type of researchers. For ordinal type, it is having a what to say, a bound of value, like social status or experience or years of education or say from medical field it is like age groups. All these type of information can be called as ordinal type. Or discrete type is number of students in a class or number of workers in a company. All those type of a group of people which is actually not a whole group will not be the how to say, a whole population. Population is different and the sample size is different. So when it comes to discrete data, sample size is a group of information which can actually replica of the whole population, which is considered as actually a sample is considered as a replica of the whole population. So continuous data. When it comes to scientific research like measurement of time, heat, temperature, thickness, all these type of, I have given some reference from boiling temperature at different climatic zones or lab conditions, or temperature inside the stock room, or weight of the research, gender wise, no, not gender wise actually, hair color wise. It is from light data. That test has to be actually first done before presenting your data or before doing your actual research. For that, you need to do sample sufficiency test or reliability test for social sciences. All these tests will be helping you to make or ensure that whether your data type and data research or the type of data or the type of research what you are doing is really matching, and the results will give you a so the same parameters or same questions, but the group of people will be different. In that type of comparison, this Kruskal Wallis test will be helpful. For example, man-Whitney test or for correlation analysis or regression analysis. There will be a lot more contributing factors which is actually giving you a different output or different result when you are actually changing a single parameter. So when you have parameters or factors, when you are changing each and every thing, whichever is actually contributing or significant to your research, or which is actually giving you a impactful change in your results, all these type of analysis can be done with the regression analysis and correlation analysis. But correlation analysis and regression analysis both are useful for both scientific research and for social sciences. So application of these, what I'm trying to tell is application of these tools, statistical tools, will give you a more refined results for presenting, which will actually reduce your rejection rates. When you are publishing, the rejection rates will be really reduced when you are using these tools which is relevant to your research. So coming to the data sets, without doing the survey or without doing the actual physical test, you can actually get some real-time data which is maybe suitable. Or if you are doing a very unique research, then definitely there is no way you have to do it on your own. You have to test it in your labs. But still, some common knowledgeable or common test which is really helpful or proceed to your research, then this data sets is really helpful. For example, environmental data. Environmental data is really having a very good information about environmental issues and how it is having an impact, because this environment data, both scientific research and the social research, both can be used, because both is having an equal importance in environment. So these ready-made sets also are also helping to reduce your research time, so that you are giving more productivity, more publications, and more visibility to your research. So If it is really required, you need a unique research or unique test, then you have to do it in your own labs. But if you want to use a common language or common knowledge, then definitely already occurred information is enough, but you are just analyzing the results or using it for your further research, then this type of research, data sets will be helpful. So I think department wise, there is sets of analysis. In India itself, this data.gov.in, it is giving genuine data because it is uploaded by Government of India and all the research labs that is connected to Government of India. So here the data is more authentic and it is not actually distracting. The data that is presented here is curated at the database level. So the information will never give you diversified results. So, I think this data set is really helpful, and it caters to all the faculty. It is not only for scientific research or not only for social sciences research, and it gives even better infographic tools also, where you can represent your data. And there are some infographic tools, and even more, you can get the information in an infographic model itself from the data sets that is actually there. I think we have discussed this. For Excel, you will have charts like a bar chart or a horizontal bar chart or pie chart or scatter chart like that. But when you go for Google Looker Studio, this is free actually. This is having a more impactful drawing because it can give you three-dimensional data. But here it is infographics, for the Excel graphs, it is two-dimensional data. Here it is three-dimensional data is presented here in Google Looker Studio. I think this type of application should be explored more when you are presenting with your data. So when coming to data representations, I'm just giving you a simple data from my own research paper, just for the thing. Many people will be giving the tabulations, gender as separately with a particular graph, and age in a separate table with a graph, and designation with a separate table with a graph. I think I have started the presentation with this example. A couple of weeks ago, I was coming through a paper which is having more than 50 papers. So length of the paper does not depend on the impact of the paper. So the length of the paper, actually the impact of the paper is reduced. So you have to compress the data and visualize it that it is easily understandable, and it has a more impact when it comes to inference, and the lower the standard deviation is given the higher rank. It means that the mean and standard deviation, mean that is actually having a very lower deviation is the more authentic or more concentrated or more voted data. Read the paper. You will be catering to the people who are in starting stage or who is really starting their career, because the data representation, if they understand, then research, because everybody will be concentrating on contributing factors alone, but factors like barriers is having the real inference or real conclusions can be got from the barriers only. So that is why I am very particular about you people have to give your failure data and negative data too. Actually, the barriers is considered as a negative part of social research, but actually it is not so. When you want to be very truthful to your results or truthful to your inference, definitely these type of negative data also should be considered. How the data is, the significance of what are the steps that you have to take to improve this barriers or improve this connectivity. So This correlation analysis, tools like correlation analysis, regression analysis, that man-whitney test, all these will be helping you to refine your research results. Again, how to infer. See, from correlation analysis, people will be inferring only from the contributing factors, and they will be just projecting the contributing factors, but that is not enough actually. From the contributing factors, what you are learning or what you are actually trying to tell, all these information should be given in conclusion. The impactful paper is not only based on the data or not only based on the research or implications. It is based on to concentrate. Then only, so not only it is APA 7. For MaxSciNet, they have their own citation. Plagiarism tool itself will, so you please adhere to the citation formats. And when you have to know more about the citation principles, like when you are quoting something from a particular author, or you are actually telling, or you are understanding the author's research. So you have to do it according to the resource source. You need to understand, but you have to spend more time on bringing this citation manager tools. I think managing tools. The citation machine is also very good because in all you're going to cite it again. Then you can actually get it from that database itself. It is like Access. Access that you can read it from whatever. When we have prepared the paper and when our paper is having the impact on others, how to analyze this. So number of citations actually when it is in open source, when you are providing a research paper in open source, definitely your paper will be read by more number of people. So the people and their research is more honored. With reference to your particular article, the number itself, if it is increasing every year, definitely your paper is having a very good impact on others research, and many people are interested in your research. And this can be even visualized with the H-index. H-index is when your number of papers are listed according to the citation number in a descending order. Like, let me show the next slide. See, this is number of papers that we have applications in Skate or Shodhganga or Academia or LinkedIn. All these sites are channel, but you would have done it earlier, but you would be the creator, or you would be the first hand tester, or you would have done it from your labs. But the research publication, what is actually published earlier, will be given more importance. So when you are publishing your and your readability, and this shallow up, I think many people will be aware of. Actually, this is it is having a very good usability. When common people will be using more or addressed in this solution, in this app as solution. So these type of practical problems should be analyzed, and because getting your research read by or impact on others also. So multiple developed in is easily usable. For example, in smartwatches, the number of steps you take, the calories you have burnt, these are all actually a multidisciplinary implication. These type of make it more they are actually insisting on having the data sets from all the researches that is going on from the labs or centrally funded institutions or centrally funded projects. They have to give their data sets to the Government of India dataset data.gov.in, because they don't want to duplicate your the will be interested in that particular author, and they will look into their ResearchGate and other academic platforms like that. So where
Participants, you can be in the login. You can join at 12 o'clock.
can we restore the session?
Yes, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So plagiarism is the actually a main thing why we are rejecting the papers, because we need to attach the plagiarism report with each paper that you are submitting for a journal. With that report itself, we can analyze your own paper before submitting, to review your paper where you have done mistake and what all the recommendations that is has to be done to correct your papers, and how to publish it without plagiarism. These type of thing you should be more aware of to reduce your rejection rates. So what to do, what not to do, how to do it right, and exemptions. You have to know the exemptions and how to correct the report when you are first submitting your paper for plagiarism check, and again in the second iteration when you are doing it, you have to reduce your what to say plagiarism percentage. Then only you have done a very good job. Then only your paper acceptance of your paper is higher. Chance of accepting is higher. So, how to write a plagiarism-free publications, and what are the difference between references and bibliography? Because the basic thing, the difference between reference and bibliography, I think the students will not be aware of. That's why I'm just sharing, because a lot more students is also there as participants. So many will be giving what to say justifications why they are not actually doing plagiarism. There are some intentional and there are some accidental. To laziness and to they are not planning the research properly, urgency in publication. All these are intentional, but wrong citation formats, or rewriting without knowing the actual impact of that particular paper in your paper. All these type of mistakes are known as accidental plagiarism. So let us get into it. Plagiarism means actually, according to the dictionary, there are a lot more meanings, but to make it simple, just without acknowledging a particular research or the author, if you are using their creativity or their research in your work, especially without citing their, not only acknowledging, without citing it in a proper format, definitely will lead to plagiarism. When we are underlining the format, it should adhere to the journal recommended author guideline format. That is more and more important, because many journal papers are being rejected because of that format issue. So next, why they are pushed through plagiarism? Lack of awareness. Very simple is definitely the laziness. Next is, which is more prevalent among students, lack of awareness about citation and crediting. It is common to all. And ignorance about stealing the information, and it is having a real adverse effects. And the shortage of time period and the pressure among the supervisors and seniors, that is the time bound issues, having a major contributor as they are forced to plagiarism. Unhealthy competition. In many institutions, I think there is some practical problem that if they are not publishing, they are not actually given promotion like that. So that type of unhealthy competition and practices are still there. So in that type of institution, definitely the pressure will be higher. So they are forced to do plagiarized material. Negligible and mild punishment is caught. Though it is negligible or mild, publication plagiarism is really having a very legal full impact in when it comes to academicians. Many loopholes are there in IPR, but still loopholes are there in law everywhere, but it is to be rightly used. That is why from copy and paste without having your own creativity or your own research, definitely that paper will not have any impact, because whatever others have already done, you are just reflecting it. That's it. You have not done anything new. So without what to say, research richness index, you have a research richness index. There is an index which actually evaluates your paper to the richness of your creativity or uniqueness. If this research richness index is not met, definitely your paper may not get published, because you are just reflecting what others have already published. So just copying and pasting will never give you enhancement to your work. Next, loses trust with yourself. Definitely, when you are addicted to it, definitely you will not think over and you will lose your credibility. And when your paper is rejected itself, you will lose your motivation. Not only that, when you go into this indiankanun.org, you can see whole lot of plagiarism cases with established or very reputed institutions and reputed researchers. But they have not done it intentionally, only because of accidental plagiarism also. But they will be having the legal, they have to face the legal consequences. So you should be more aware of plagiarism and its impact and its actual impact in your life actually and career. So deliberately copying from others' work and without giving proper credit, or copying within your lab or copying within your classrooms itself, actually it is intentional. They cannot prove it, but still if they claim for, definitely you have to go through legal procedures. And when it comes to really an impactful research, people will be very impulsive to get it their ownership. So please be aware that don't do intentional plagiarism, because this will definitely affect your career life itself. Because laws are even become more tightened to address these type of issues. When it will come to unintentional and accidental, again wrong citation style and patch writing is unintentional and accidental. I'll give you some examples in the later slides regarding this patchwork and copy pasting. So what are the types of plagiarism? Text plagiarism, I think everybody will be aware of. But other than text, image plagiarism. See, I think whenever you see a slide, you will have lot of references in the bottom of that particular slide itself. Let me show you one. Yeah, here. I have given the citation of this particular image in the bottom of this particular page. This will definitely, this is type of actually acknowledging that I have taken this image from this particular site, and this is how we have to give the credit to that particular creator. Okay. So when you are copying not only the text, images, voices, or icons or artifacts, whatever it is, all these also should be given credit. In video plagiarism also is possible, because when you are creating like short films from a movie or from an advertisement, definitely you need to give them credit. It is not only for textual, it is also for any other format. You have to give the credit. For example, if you are going to include a music MP3 file with this particular presentation, definitely you need to give credit to that particular creator. So types of academic dishonesty. Cheating is intentionally using and attempting to use unauthorized materials. For example, when you are doing some a chemical research where unauthorized materials or materials that is actually banned, then it becomes a type of academic dishonesty. Academic dishonesty when you are actually projecting the results, you will not be able to show that unauthorized material. Definitely, what you will do, you will actually eliminate that particular material and you will publish the results. But this becomes academic dishonesty because without that particular chemical, you would have not got that results, which is actually a banned material. This happens mostly in medical fields and cosmetic fields. So whenever academic dishonesty is happening, definitely it will lead to plagiarism. So fabrication. Fabrication, the results will be, for example, when it is some boiling of a chemical or laminating a sheet, you will be fixing a temperature, speed, or what to say, the flow of the material. All these you will be fixing after many trials and iterations of combinations and what to say, combination and permutation. You would have streamlined the or saturated a particular process to which is having a effective output. In that, you should not intentionally falsify because of some standards. For example, milk should not be stored below 4 degree of temperature. But to extend the life of the milk, many freezers they will be fixing at 3 or 2. Actually, this is actually the information is fabricated that it is understood that the milk will be stored in 4 degree, but you have already stored in 3 degree or 2 degree to extend the life. When you are using that milk for experiment, you will not be able to give your genuine comment that you have used below 3 degree or 2 degree because that is not actually recommended for edible use. Definitely you are falsifying the information. So this leads to academic dishonesty, and these academic dishonesty definitely will lead to legal consequences. This is not only for scientific research. This similar acts will be you will be come across when you are doing social research also. So this type of academic dishonesty will definitely have what to say, social impact. Not actually it will capture or it will lead to legal consequences, but it will definitely have a negative impact on your research. Facilitating academic dishonesty, intentionally knowing, helping, and attempting to help others to commit an act of academic dishonesty. This happens mostly in more advanced level or critical labs. So, intentionally, without the knowledge of the person who is actually doing that experiment, if you are going to steal the information, definitely that is academic dishonesty, because once they are challenging the issue, you need to prove it. If you are not able to prove it, definitely there will be an issue and it will lead to career disruption. And this is actually happening more in artifacts and designs. So, how to prevent it? See, for example, in artifacts, if you are going to reproduce or if you are going to have a similar painting, you can just give the credit that I have copied or I have tried to copy from this and I have reproduced or with my own creativity, but I have used this as a base. This particular painter's artifact as my base. So there is no wrong in giving credit that you have improved your creativity and applied to their base work, and you have actually given a different approach. There is no wrong in that, but you are actually become a trustworthy person. Next is published subject journals. When you are trying to do research which is from authenticated sources, you should actually get the references from that particular established authenticated sources like government publications or trustworthy journals or government owned data or curated data or publications or data sources like JSTOR, Science Direct. For medical field, it is MIPPED, like that. So for referencing and reproducing, understand the concepts and the content and reproduce it in your own words. That is more important. When you are reproducing, you should not actually rewrite or rephrase the same sentences that you have read. You have to reproduce in such a way that how it is useful for your research. I have understood from that paper, from reference paper, that this particular author has given this, and this is how I am using it in my research. If you are going to give a credit, or if you are going to write the material in such a way that it is relevant to your research or not, and it is how it is actually misleading, all these comments will definitely give you a fruitful writing, and this will never come under plagiarism, because you are trying to tell that you have understood the concept, but it is how you are using it. And if it is really helpful, give them a credit, like citations. And you have to differentiate the original content and the borrowed content. Original content, it will be in the original paper or the source paper. That will be considered as primary resource. When it is coming from borrowed content, the same paper would be cited in a different article, which is already published, and that article or that author would have already written in a way that he has understood. So this is also known as borrowed content. So easy steps to avoid the plagiarism. First, plan your research. Next, schedule your practical and theoretical work. Save all your data, including failure data. Next, compare the theories and the outcome of your research, and found if you are having similarities, please divert or please extend the research. Otherwise, you please continue the research to have a better results. Then, if there is any doubt or controversy against your result, then again cite the earlier source, and you just compare with your results and how it is different from earlier publications, and how you are challenging or how you are actually arguing that the earlier published results is not good, or how you have enhanced the results. All these type of information, if you are going to write it in a very understandable manner, definitely there is a point of avoiding plagiarism. So wherever your paper is, the particular research is used, please cite it. Please don't paraphrase it or copy or paste. Strictly follow the honor codes, author guidelines, and tutors, as it may vary with publications and publishing agencies. So protecting your content. It is not that enough that you are actually giving credit to others. You have to protect your own work also. So how to do it? Unless you do you work online, you should not upload it to any like format converters or online tools like that, because they, as I said earlier, definitely they will be having a copy, and they can actually analyze what type of research you are doing from your paper. So please do when it is not, especially for plagiarism check also, you should not use untrusted plagiarism checking softwares, or when you have graphical data, online graphical data interface, then you should not upload your data directly and to get the results or to get the visual representations of your data. So before uploading, you should use different sites for each and every data, so that the data cannot be put together and the data cannot be made into a full data to analyze what you are actually doing. So definitely don't avoid a single online tool for using all reproductions or all format conversions for your software, or for your data. But no system is actually foolproof, so definitely there will be some practical problems. You should be more alert of it. And alerting systems like Google Alerts can help you find whether your publications are already being used by others or not. I think Google Alerts many people will be aware of. And if the content is really worth, contact plagiarism experts for long-term planning and safeguard the your content. If you're, for example, if the information is really patentable, or you have gone to the first level of patentable, what to say, experiment or patentable result, then definitely you need to safeguard it, because if somebody else is stealing it, definitely they will enhance they will continue and enhance your research from your results, and they will do the later part, but they will get the credit. So you have to safeguard your content also. So tidbits for your researcher. Plagiarism covered under intellectual property rights and copyrights. So definitely anybody is under law. Plagiarism content gives academic credibility and value to the documents, so it adds value. So if the particular research is patentable, definitely that has an importance around the globe. So not only your research, the researcher is also viable to get what to say, copied by others, or they will be followed by others, but still you should not give the actual what to say, all the most information to the others. If it is really patentable or if it is really a copyrightable thing, you have to hold on critical parts of your you have to safeguard your critical parts of your research and improvise academic reading. Without good reading, definitely it is not a good output when it comes to academic writing. So you have to improve your writing from reading more. Without reading or without what to say, understanding the others' research, you will not be able to produce, or you will not be able to write a proper academic writing. Definitely, this copy and paste and the patchwork writing and the paraphrasing is definitely killing their own writing skills. So definitely, please don't do it. These are free plagiarism checkers. As I said earlier, please don't upload your full paper to any particular site, especially for free plagiarism sites. Commercial plagiarism sites, definitely they have some disclosure agreements. So if the paper is going to be leaked from there, they have the authenticity that we can claim the authenticity, and we have to actually claim or go against them through law. So commercial plagiarism check sites will definitely help you to retain your research with maximum safety, but it cannot be ensured through free softwares. So it depends upon the content of your paper. For awareness, intellectual threats, creativity, improvement, academic contribution, stockholder, whistleblower, all these are roles and awareness that you should be knowing about plagiarism. And for need for plagiarism checker to estimate whether it is really an original work, or well, you can compare with already established research productivity, whether it increases your original thinking when you are comparing with others, and academic quality and productivity will definitely increase. And to avoid the consequences like debarring, expulsion, retention, stress, etc., definitely this plagiarism checker. Now that they have made mandatory, but earlier it was not mandatory, so a lot of problems and legal cases were increasing. So now they have made it mandatory to, for every journal you have to submit with the plagiarism checker report to avoid legal ramifications. This is the importance or significance of a plagiarism checker. So for Turnitin, I think I thought of taking the screenshots of Turnitin, but I'm having access to Urkun, but both are very similar. So I'm just trying to get only one screenshot from Google Images, but the reports will be very, very similar from the working procedure and the the comparison. All these are very similar between Turnitin and Urkund. Only thing is, Turnitin is a commercial software which is both Urkund and Turnitin is both are commercial, but Turnitin is having an added facility. Recently, they have upgraded as writing detention capabilities like ChatGPT also. I think that is not been upgraded in Urkund. Resubmission need to be listed in exemptions in Urkund, but it is not actually required in Turnitin. Resubmission means you would have first evaluated your paper with Turnitin, but you would have got a percentage, very high percentage of plagiarism. So again, whatever mistakes you have done, you will be rectifying it, and you will be resubmitting the paper, same paper, to Turnitin again. But Turnitin never shows that it is 100% similarity with your earlier upload. But Urkund will definitely show you 100% matching with your earlier submission. So there is some options like exemption of resources, like a common Wikipedia, that you can give exemption. That is information or references from Wikipedia, definitely you can give exemptions. And your similar papers or your own publication, that again you can give exemptions. And earlier submissions also can be given exemptions. All these exemption options are available both in Turnitin and Urkund. But in Urkund, you have to give the exemption for your earlier submitted paper, but it is not required for you to give the exemption if you are submitting it as a student. But when you are submitting it as an researcher or a research supervisor, definitely you need to give the exemption. When you are logging in as a student, it is not required. So let us get into more on Urkund, because the results and the way it functions, everything are very similar between Turnitin and Urkund. Only difference is what I have already told. So Urkund is a text matching tool and algorithm that checks with the online sources, and all the online sources that are gathered together or sourced together, that automatically it will search with all the documents, and the number of matching documents, they are increasing day by day, because all the contributing papers and the plagiarism checking papers all are pulled together. Definitely the number will increase. So the possibility of getting matching is a bit higher, but it will relevantly show you that where all it is matching and what are the exemptions that you can provide, and where the percentage can be brought down. Institution has access, and the researcher can upload the document and analyze it, and get the supervisor will get the reports. Only through the supervisor you can get the reports, not through the student. Student can upload through the researcher, and the results will be given through the supervisor. But student can upload the paper directly. They can get the report, but he cannot re-upload the paper. He can re-upload the paper through supervisor with the exemptions, because the exemptions is not possible with student logging. The most cases of the reports are not shared with the students. This is what I was actually telling you. So the students will not get the reports directly. It will go through the researcher. Teacher can enable the student access through learning management tools, and around 20 years it is serving as a plagiarism checker, and the comparison tools and algorithm databases, etc. are updated daily. And how to register? As usual, we have to through institution we can get the access, and they will give remote access through user ID password, and the institution will be given a special email ID for getting the reports, and the generator of this analysis of reports. The person who will be able to receive the reports, they will be having a unique mail ID, which is created by Urkund itself. And as usual, the user will be given a mail with changing their password and verification links. This is how the screen will look like when you are creating the account. Now, what are the key features? It has not only the textual thing, it is having lot more digital learning tools also, learning management systems and virtual learning environment also. Like it can be linked with Moodle, it can be linked with the Blackboard and all other softwares that can be linked to Urkund. And it supports learning tool operability and the standards, and SSO certification is also available. So it also, Urkund is also having equal amount of privileges or quality features that is equally alternative. But now we are using Urkund, so I am just giving you the screenshots because I cannot take the screenshots of other institutions because their screenshots may have contents that cannot be used here without proper without proper permissions. So these are the other integrated tools that can be linked to Urkund. For students, definitely they are making mistakes in citations and mostly unintentional. Not only for students, it is happening for even established authors also, but still we are very particular about student level publications. Students should start learning and writing the papers in a very early stage, so that when you are doing a research after 3 or 4 years, you will be very good in writing. So try to publish more when you are starting your studies itself, by writing technical notes, by writing into magazines, which is not actually having a very legal ties when it comes to research. So you just start writing earlier. And user guide, which is given, which give more information about plagiarism facts and about avoiding measures and how to set. All these are given in Urkund itself. All guidelines. Here they have given few examples how this is actually plagiarism is considered. When you are writing it with your own words and giving the author in a bracket, then it is not actually a plagiarized content. But if you are not mentioning the author, but you are rewriting it, then it becomes definitely a plagiarized content. Second example, here he has given the author, he has rewritten it, and he has quoted some information which is actually the typical words that Asimov have used. So then he has given the Asimov's name also with the reference in the last, then definitely this is not a plagiarized content. So this type of examples which we have never actually thought of. We thought that this is, we usually think that this is all very basic information, but understanding this basic information definitely will help us to avoid plagiarism. Though these are all very basic, but we need to understand it very carefully, because there is a thin line between the plagiarism and copied content. If there is no source or textual information about the particular author or particular paper, definitely it becomes a plagiarized content. So I request all the people to at least read these examples to understand how to avoid plagiarism, because going slide by slide with this understanding plagiarism is definitely, it will be very boring for you people, I believe. But these are all really an important examples I have gone through. Okay, how to read the reports. Here it is 14 type of text that is from this slide. You can see that is 14 matching content is there. So out of whole content, 66% of this is having similarity report, and 33 it is for contributors thing. Warnings. It is unusual characters like special characters when you are using without mathematical tools, then definitely it will show warnings, because unusual use of characters is also a plagiaristic form, which will also be considered as a plagiaristic form. Here, it is 14.18% from one particular website, but they have not given proper authentication. So this one particular, out of 55.88%, this one particular website, they have copied 14.18% of content of your paper is having information from that particular website. So here it gives the information about the submitter and when it is retrieved, what is the submission ID, and what are the how many words. All these metadata of that particular submission will be seen in this report, part of this report. And the actual content is also being compared to the your plagiarized content. Sorry to tell that it is your plagiarized content, the writer's plagiarized content. So when you even paraphrase it or you make some intrusions or deletions, but still plagiarism is well addressed in this software, because it is using AI technology, that is artificial intelligence technology, and the algorithms are really good, that it definitely can filter the contents that is really matching with your content. Here, if you are going to copy it in this way, definitely it shows 100% matching text with the so they have rewritten it with some changes in the presentation, but still it gives the 100% matching text. So when such matching texts are occurring, if it is really required from for your research, you have to include the citation. Otherwise, if you are not using or if you are not learning from that particular source, you please mention it in references alone, not in in bibliography, not in references, because if all the references list should be given in text citation. Bibliographic is arranged in a different way, but still extra reading or what are the papers that you have already referred for, or what all the papers that were complementing to your research, all those extra readings can be included in bibliography. When it comes to reference list, please make it short with inside citations, and that because all the plagiarism software will check only the references list, not the bibliographic list. Unless it is required, we have to mention or we have to give the exemption to check with bibliography list also. So usually all the softwares will be testing with the references list. So whatever the list that you are using it with in text, you please list it, because many people will be doing this mistake. They will be writing the paper with in text citation, but they will leave the citation in the whole citation in the references list, or they will be including in the references list, but they will not include in citation, in text citation. Both should be right, then only it becomes unplagiarized content or original content. Report highlights and the similarity matching text, all these will be given, and if you can understand the reports, definitely there is a lot more chances to get it corrected, because the reports are really understandable with graphical thing, and the spelling mistakes, the spaces, extra spaces, all those are also given in the reports. We have seen this. Yeah. So these are the whole overview point where you have how many text of matching text, what are the warning signs, what are the similarities, what are the submission details. All these are in overview slide. I have given all the references and what are the texts that I have used. I have given the references here. And if you have any questions, you please mail to this. And if you want to discuss now, I can answer. And this is my mentor, Mr. Dr. R. Gopalakrishnan, but he is no more. But he was driving force behind me. So I want to thank him in this opportunity. Yeah. Thank you all for the organizers, listeners, participants, and everybody. And now it is open for question. Hello, ma'am.
Thank you so much, ma'am. I'm sure our audience have learned a lot from you. Dear participants, if you have questions, you can unmute and ask.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon.
I'm Dr. Annie Vidya from Urus College, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Hats off to Urus Auxilium College for organizing a webinar on Publish and Progress, and also to the research cell. I've learned a lot through your resourceful content, ma'am. I just have a doubt, ma'am. This plagiarism check, who can turn it in, is there, no, ma'am? We are affiliated to Tiruvallur University, and they have purchased Turnitin, an advanced version of Turnitin. But there are some professors who wanted to purchase the software personally, and they are just like initiating to the students to check before submitting it. They wanted them to check it, ma'am. Is it okay? Because I have a doubt that because rechecking again, if they have to check in the university, will it not make it complicated?
No, ma'am. There is some that, as I said earlier, there are some exemptions that you can give. You can check it first, and again when you are resubmitting, you have to claim some exemptions that you have already submitted. Especially in Urkund, you have to resubmit it. But it is not required to get an individual copy of Turnitin because it is really a costly thing.
Yes, ma'am. They even say that it's almost 2 lakhs. But then I want to know whether it is legally right or wrong.
Legally right or wrong, I think I'm not the right person to comment. But still, it is not actually required from my point of view, because when the university itself is subscribing it, or subscribing it, definitely you can upload any number of times the same paper. You can get reports. Every time you reiterate or correct it, you can submit, but you can claim the exemptions. It is there.
Okay.
It is possible. From the reports, you can claim the exemption for earlier submissions. Then you can resubmit it. It will not be an issue, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am, for spending your precious time, Kalpana, ma'am. Ma'am, can you suggest journals for the social science and then art staff? See, for the sciences, we have like Elsewhere, Springer publications, and we go into that and we find the journals and then we are publishing the papers. For arts like English and then BBA and then other.
I think Sage Publications are giving a very good package on social sciences.
Can you suggest a list of journals, ma'am? If you could do it, you can send it to us, ma'am, because our staff members always, they used to publish in the paid journals. They were telling they are not able to publish in this Elsewhere and then Springer, where they cannot search for the journal. So that's what I need a help from you.
Definitely, ma'am, I will share it. But I think I should need to share one more information regarding this paid journals and commercial journals.
Yes, ma'am.
So when your content is really impactful and it has a very social impact or scientific impact, your paper will be accepted in many journals. Only thing is, you have to select the journal. Before selection, you have to select according to your relevant title or relevant publisher. That is more important. And second thing is, They will be charging some processing fee, service maintenance fee, or what to say, publication fee, because all these are fees that are asked from you or asked made to pay by you because they are maintaining it, but the publication will be made open source. The publisher will not be getting any financial thing from the user, right? That is why for maintaining the service and maintaining the process of evaluating, reviewing, peer review, blind review, all these type of process, they need some financial thing, so they are charging some. It does not mean that actually they are charging for your publication, that they are charging for your maintaining the service and maintaining the process. And moreover, for example, some journals which is Springer and highly reputed journals, they have their own goodwill. I think commerce people should be aware of. And also, if the paper is really good, there are some viable, unless otherwise the paper is having an impactful research, it will not be cited by others. When your paper is, you want a paper to be freely visible or downloadable, then it is this model works better, that the processing fee or publication fee is paid by the author. I think these two models are now in current trend, so we have to choose better.
Thank you, ma'am.
I may be right and may be wrong, but I'm just sharing you the actual current trend models.
Thank you, ma'am.
But still, I will explore more about a list of journals that is active. But in government journals, it is free. For example, Annals of Library Science, newsletters, LibNews, all these are free because I'm aware of my own faculty. Likewise, we have to explore more about each faculty. I'll let you know and I will try to bring a list.
Thank you, ma'am. Okay.
I have given my mail ID, so if people have questions, please forward your questions because I will also learn from your questions. When I am answering, definitely I will be reading for your sake. So feel free to contact me later.
The session was very excellent. I have one doubt, ma'am. The Google Citation Index, in the Google Citation Index, my count is 207, ma'am. And in the Scopus Orchid, it is 65. And in the ResearchGate, it is 217. Which citation I have to take, ma'am? Citation index I have to take.
The maximum, the better. But the maximum, the better is always, there is a difference. If you are, whatever the numbers you are giving, you have to cite the same different algorithms and matchings. But the ORCID, ORCID number, is helping to mapping the resources. So it is better to have a ORCID number mapped with all your. It is good to map all your resources into ORCID number so that all your publications will be pulled together, so that the citations will look more or less similar. Not too close, but still it will look similar. So ORCID number or MaxINet number or Scopus index number, all these are helping you to map all your resources into one platform. So that will definitely increase your citation and it will give more visibility also. So pulling together is important, ma'am, because few papers will be published in or visible in Google Scholar, few papers will be visible through ResearchGate. So the difference should be reduced. Then the citations also will get reduced. The difference in citation counts also will reduce.
Yes, thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Ma'am, one more doubt also, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, in the Google Scholar, they are giving the H index and I10 index for the whole publications, ma'am.
Yes.
How we have to calculate H index and I10 index for a particular publication? That is one particular paper, particular article.
For particular article, H index is, or sorry, particular paper, you will only give the citation numbers or citation index. When you are comparing with all the citations, then only the H index is more meaningful. But for particular H index, for particular publication, if it is like you would have published a paper that you have listed as 7th in the ascending order according to the number. So 7th paper, but for one, with that particular paper, you can read it as 7th. But for H index, actually, it will be compared with total number of citations or total number of publications. It is not so meaningful to particularly think about H index for one particular paper when it is compared to the whole population.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
No more questions? Shall we conclude?
Yes, Uma ma'am.
Now I call Ms. Sri Rekha, librarian, to propose the vote of thanks.
And just a moment, let me thank all the organizers, all the people behind the screen for helping me to invite this, for presenting this session from the esteemed institution. Really, I feel privileged to have this session with you all. Thank you for your organizers.
Dear participants, please stay back. After vote of thanks, we will have a photo session. Please stay back.
A the Almighty God for making today's event a resounding success. With His blessings and grace, we are able to make this event what it was. My sincere thanks to our Secretary, Dr. Sister Josephine Rani, our beloved Principal, Dr. Sister Jayashanti, our Controller of Examination, Dr. Arogya Jesili, our Vice Principals, Dr. Sister Amala Valarmadi and Sister Juliana Agnes Victor, Shift 1 and 2. Thank you, sisters. On behalf of the organization, I would like to extend my heartfelt gratitude to our esteemed resource person, Dr. Kalpana, Scientific Assistant B, Library in Charge, Indian Statistical Institute, Chennai Center. Thank you, ma'am, for your informative and thought-provoking session. I'm immensely thankful to Dr. Mary Agnes, Coordinator of IPSC, and Dr. Sugantha Kumari, Dean of Research. Thank you, madams, for your continuous support. My sincere thanks to Director of Library, Dr. Sister Sumati. Thank you, sister, for your encouragement and support. A big thank to IPSC members and Committee for Research Ethics, Publication and IPR. Thank you one and all. My special thanks to Dr. Jacinta Rosley, who handled the event throughout, and Dr. Uma Chandra Meera Lakshmi for her wonderful anchoring. Thank you, madams. My sincere thanks to all the participants who made the event a memorable one. Thank you one and all. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Sri Rekha. Auxilium College professors and research scholars, please stay back. Other institution professors and research scholars, please turn on your video. Other institution professors and research scholars, please turn on your video. Annie ma'am. Please, all the participants, please turn on your video. We are waiting.